Good. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you guys are enjoying your day. So, honey, let's get right into it, okay? So, I don't know what's going on with these celebrity relationships, but we got a couple to talk about. So, let's start with Nicki Minaj, right? So, the internet is swirling, trying to figure out what's going on between Nicki and her husband Kenneth Petty. Um, Nikki a couple of days ago put a cryptic message out saying that it said yes and then it said single, and people were trying to figure out if it meant that she was single or if she had a new single coming out. People couldn't figure it out, right? So following that, she did a Instagram live where she was, it was clearly at night. She had her bonnet on. Um, she sounded really down. She was speaking about motherhood and and how she gave birth to her child and all of this and all that. She sounded like she was really in a really somber place, right, when it came to motherhood, right? So we know that Nikki has been on tour. We know that it's very stressful when you're on tour. I'm sure it is very stressful when you are away from your child. She doesn't know what's going on. Kenneth is not on tour with her, nor is her baby boy. From what I understand, he may come to visit from time to time, but primarily, the baby is at home because she probably figures that he's too young to be tour, and so for on tour, and so for all this reason, she may be stressed out. So anyway, like I said, her fans are trying to figure out if her and Kenneth are going through something. I wouldn't be surprised if they were. It wouldn't shock me at all because when it comes to Nikki and Kenneth Petty, I feel like that was a train wreck waiting to happen. You know, Nikki said that her and Kenneth were childhood, well, teenage sweethearts or whatever, and they reconnected. Through the years after they reconnected, they got married, and she had her son named Papa Bear, and they seemed like they were really happy for a while. But and like I said, I think she's been. We know that she was arrested. In what was it, Amsterdam or something like that. That is very stressful. Ain't no telling what's going on at home. We know that Kenneth has his own issues going on. We know that he is a convicted felon, and he was convicted of R wording a woman. And Nikki has denied it and tried to defend him year after year. People keep bringing it up, and but he is actually a convicted R word person. I mean, they found him with rope, gloves, and he was stalking his victim and whatnot, and all this and all that. But even though through all of that, Nikki has always had his back. She has always fought for him. Kenneth is behind the scenes really messy. He has threatened a couple of musicians. In his past, he got in trouble about that again. He had that ankle monitor on his leg forever. I don't even know if he's permitted to go out of the country, right? So anyway, another reason why I felt like this was a train wreck waiting to happen is because of Nicki Minaj's brother. Like nobody ever talks about his brother. And if you guys remember, some of you guys may know that a couple of years ago, Nicki was defending her brother because he has been charged and convicted of PDF filing his mother's his ex-wife's daughter, right? This is his daughter. Isn't his daughter, it's the ex-wife's daughter. The little boy, actually walked in on Nicki Minaj's brother, all wording um the daughter, right? And so the wife, the then wife, pressed charges on him. Nikki denied those charges. She said it wasn't true. Her and her mom, they fought really hard for him. He was convicted of that. He is in jail for that. But I always thought that, you know what, maybe Nikki goes through the things that she's go through. She seems to have these alternate personalities. They say she's got a really bad attitude at times, and I'm thinking it did. I don't think it just started with that little girl. And what if he allegedly did the same thing to her, right? And just because her mama is making Nicki to defend him, hire him a lawyer and all this and all that. That doesn't mean it didn't happen to her, right? And Kenneth, we know that we just discussed his problems, and for those reasons, I felt that this relationship was always a train wreck waiting to happen. In my opinion, it's very toxic, you know. And also, Nicki has been photographed getting on a plane with just her son and herself. And so we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. I hope that everything is all right with Nicki. I have never trusted Kenneth Petty. I have never trusted her brother. And so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Anyway, but I hope for the best for Nicki and her son. And if she is in the midst of some type of trouble concerning her safety and her well being, the safety and well being of her and her son, I hope that she gets out of that situation. I hope she removes herself from that situation, right? And so we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Now, moving right along, we gotta talk about Porsha, Honey, and Simon Gawardia, right? So Simon, we know that he has been being very petty towards Porsha, especially during her time filming The Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? So he put a cease and desist saying that she couldn't film in the home. He tried to kick her out of the home. The judge has granted her on temporary, granted saying that she could temporarily stay in the home. Now we know that Simon is in Dubai because of his legal troubles over here with him being over here illegally, right? So anyway, honey, he gave Porsha this Rolls Royce Spider or something like that, right? It's a Rolls Royce something, right? So Porsha loves this car. Honey, Simon is so petty. He gave it to Porsha, I believe, for her birthday or something like that, right? So we see them pictured here. She's hugging him, with the bow on the car. He gave her the car, right? But the car is still in his name, child, right? Because he bought it for her. So he done went petty and put a cease and desist on Bravo, saying that she cannot film in the car. I'm like, what? How do you sit back and think of this stuff? Why do you want to keep trolling this woman, right? So because we know they're going through a divorce, right? Portia don't want to have nothing to do with him no more. She can't film in the house. She can't talk about the divorce. She can't talk about any of his legal troubles. I'm talking about on the taping of the show, which is pretty much her storyline, right? So he was on the block at everything, including her filming in the car, child. If that's not petty, I mean, like, I don't even know what is absolutely toxic dealing with this man, right? So, honey, he's a troll. Simon is a troll, right? So he put this online. He said, "No more Africans, no more Rolls Royce. Hashtag buy your own, child." I'm thinking Indian give her much. I was like, oh, African Indian give her much or whatever you want to call it. I'm like, that is super petty, right? So now he's done that to Portia. He's trying to block every avenue when it comes to her filming this season's Real House of Atlanta show. He just simply doesn't want her. He wants to make it so difficult that she doesn't have any storyline. She doesn't have any scenes, including anything that they shared together, including the home, honey, and even the car. I'm like, child, you need to run that car in the river and let him have it, okay? Run the car in the river, let them sell the family home. Do whatever you got to do, Portia, but get away from this troll, honey, and start living your life. But honey, that's just another celebrity toxic relationship, right? So that was another train wreck waiting to happen. It's because you get them, Portia girl. That's how you gonna lose them, okay? And so anyway, child, moving right along, we're gonna have to see what happened with that. Moving right along. Now, Jeannie Mai and Jeezy, their divorce was finalized yesterday. So we know that they have been going back and forth since Jeezy snuck and filed for divorce. I think it was last September. They have had a very brutal, divorce. A lot of things were going back and forth. When it came to Jeannie Mai and Jeezy and the divorce, right? So anyway, the divorce has been finalized. Like I said, as of June 11th, they made the final divorce decree, right? So we don't. But the thing we want to know is what all did Jeannie Mai get in the divorce settlement, right? Because we know that Jeezy had requested the courts to do what do you call it, a assessment when it comes to him and Jeannie Mai pertaining to the baby and custody. He wanted sole custody, then he circled back and said he's willing to do shared custody because she started coming out, with a whole lot of accusations concerning him. She also showed proof. She showed proof of how he would, have firearms just laying around in the house. She said she was afraid for her daughter. She also mentioned one time that she was told by somebody in his home that he left the baby unattended while he attended some kind of concert or show or something like that. So, like I said, they went from joint custody to him wanting full custody to agreeing back to joint custody after she came out on him. She made accusations on him as being abusive. She had proof of him, kind of, trying to explain away. It's also apologized. Um, for his abuse. And so, also, and because of that, he had, during the divorce, he had his baby mom, Mai, support him. Now, I don't know what he promised her because she had a hard time with him too, right? She also made several accusations towards him at the time, but she made a, witness, impact statement saying that he's pretty much a great dad and all of this and all that. She was vouching for him, right? So whatever he promised her, I hope she gets. She also had a problem with him paying child support, all this and all of that, right? So not only that, the caretaker, he had a statement from a caretaker or a nanny or whatever. She also was saying that he was a great dad and he's super dad USA or whatever. That's what I'm gonna call it. But if we can remember, Jeannie Mai reminded us of the fact that he had a really bad altercation with his son. It is documented that he had an altercation with his son. I believe that he may have put a firearm allegedly on his son. That is what was reported. So Jeannie Mai, came back and talked about that. It was just a really, really messy and really, really bad divorce. But anyway, honey, they are now officially divorced as of June 11th, right? Now we can't find any of the can't find out any of the juicy details when it came to the divorce decree and the settlement, right? And the reason why we can't find that out is because Jeezy requested that the several of the court documents be sealed, right? When it came to the settlement agreement, when it came to the parental agreement, child support agreement, all of that, and they wanted that to be sealed. And I believe, in my opinion, some of it is because he don't want some of his other baby mamas to know about his assets, right? Because they might go back to court and ask for more child support. Jeannie Mai also said that allegedly he had been hiding assets, and so maybe she was able to show that he had been hiding assets, and he clearly doesn't want that to come out. But anyway, we don't know what the custody arrangement is when it comes to little baby Morocco. We don't know how much she's getting in some child support. We don't know any of that because, like I said, those documents have been sealed. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. I'm thinking Jeannie Mai got a pretty good chunk of whatever it is that Jeezy had or whatever it is that he was trying to hide, and I'm sure she got a pretty hefty child support settlement. You know, and so, honey, we'll never know, honey, because those documents has been sealed per his request. But anyway, we know that they are done. It is over. It was a very messy divorce. It was made very public. Jeezy started making it public, trying to make it seem like Jeannie Mai was crazy. He did the same thing with his other baby mamas. You know, he's always super dad, but appears to be a very paranoid person, right? But anyway, we're gonna have to see how it works out, right? So anyway, honey, that's all I got. That is all the tea I had to dish on the celebrity toxic relationships, right? Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and find out. But anyway, like, share, subscribe. Please let me know what you think about these toxic relationships that I reported on this morning down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about it. Let me know what y'all feel about Nicki and her husband. Are they splitting or not? Or is she just simply stressed out? Anyway, like, share, subscribe. If you decide to subscribe to the channel, please hit that notifications bell so that you will be notified when I post another video. Y'all have a nice day. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Bye bye. Peace.